and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm Dakota with my co-host Jordan, and today we're going to talk about our pre-orders and doing a little bit, like just before this episode, going through kind of what we have on pre-order. We've realized that it's going to be a lofty order, and
It's been a busy couple weeks as far as pre-orders go, kind of all around, honestly, because
yeah.
I don't usually pre-order McFarlane, you know that, but I
Mm-hmm.
do have McFarlane pre-order. Quite a bit of Spidey Hasbro stuff, but I've also got some NECA stuff in there, which I haven't yet pre-ordered NECA stuff. So, um, supporting the big three,
Yeah,
I guess.
and it's a little scary to go back and tally up your pre-orders, but hopefully with some toy sales that we have going on right now, that'll offset that cost and make it not hurt the wallets as bad. But
Not as bad.
I don't know. I'll go ahead and start off with my pre-order. So we've got our pre-orders from multiple locations. Typically, usually I would always go through Hasbro, but then they changed the free shipping thing, so I stopped ordering from Hasbro. I kind of have Jordan do my ordering because he's a premium member.
Premium member feels good.
Us lowly folks that aren't premium members, I like to go through Target because I've got a Target Red card, so I'll get 5% off and free shipping. So if I can find my Legends there, Target's a little iffy. I've also got some from Big Bad Toy Store, McFarlane. Jordan, like he said, he's got some NECAs. I'm not sure where from, but we'll get into those. I'll start out with my targets. So we got Spider-Man Noir. I got one for me, one for Jordan. We're both a little on the fence about that, but with the new Spider-Man movie coming out next year, we want to kind of be on top of that. So in case he shoots up, we can have him in hand to decide whether we keep him or not. Then I've got the Venom and Null 2-pack. You all know Venom's got wings, so he was a have to pick up. Still working my way through that storyline. I had to return my comics to the library because they were like 2 weeks overdue, but I'll get those back and finish the story. And then we've got an Iron Spider. I ordered one of those. Jordan wasn't too
I did
interested.
not get the Iron Spider.
I've got
I
two
mean,
in case you decide
in
otherwise.
case I change my mind.
Yes.
All right, good to know.
One that both of us are pretty excited about. I've got a Renew Your Vows 2-pack on pre-order, and I think that Spider-Man is going to end up being my main displayed Spider-Man. I'm pretty excited about the toe articulation, which is interesting that we've come full circle. Toy Biz used to do all the toe articulations, and I think people made fun of it, but now we realize that Spider-Man could really use that toe articulation. Spinneret, I don't have her, but I think she'll be pretty cool. I'm excited about the double jointed knees and elbows. Got an
Mm-hmm.
Amazing Fantasy 2-pack, or just an Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, which that one I was on the fence about, but I think Jordan talked me into, like, you don't want to have it release and then you can't find it and then it's going to be more expensive, so you want to have the pre-order. If I end up deciding that, like, No Way Home, or the 2-pack Renew Your Vows is, like, there's no beating this Spider-Man, then I'll just return it, but I at least had the opportunity to get it at retail. Then I've got a Thor on pre-order from, what is he, the Controller
Controller.
Wave? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't planning on pre-ordering a Thor, but Target had a sale, so jumped in there and got him below retail. And with that Venom and Null 2-pack, I think he'll go well with that display.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other Target pre-order I have is Ocean Master, because like I said, my wife, she loves the ocean. She thought that figure looked cool, and the only other figure that I own that she thinks looks cool is Warlock, so I figured why not have two figures in the collection that she likes. But he also might be one that I decide in person whether to keep or not. But that does it for my Target pre-orders. I don't know if you want to go through your Target pre-orders, if you just want me to go through all my pre-orders. What do you think,
I don't
Jordan?
know. I kind of just, I don't know if I have it grouped. I have it more by company rather
Mm,
than where I got it.
okay.
Um, but I have a lot of similar ones. I've got the Renew Your Vows, the Venom and Null, Spidey Noir, of course, and Thor. So I think we're on the same page with those ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have those mainly are from I think Hasbro actually, because I got the premium, so I
Right.
ordered those. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to, because there was the recent symbiote pack that I may be more excited for that Venom. To be quite
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, I know you said that
Yeah.
you're thinking you like the Null 2-pack one better. The one
Yeah.
thing bothers me, maybe it's like a nitpick, but it's on the 2018 Venom movie body,
Right.
which is fine. I think that's a good body. You're getting the toy now to show it. Oh wait, what is that? Oh yeah, there he is. It's cool. It's certainly cool. I don't know if for the comics I love the toe thing, and
You don't like the
then
toes?
I think the toes are kind of weird. I personally, I think I'm gonna enjoy it on the Omega Red cell
Mm-hmm.
shaded Venom body. The new Venom I think is pretty cool though. That was an Amazon exclusive. Just kind of randomly went up the
Yeah.
other day. I mean, it was like, oh, this is up, and it's like, oh, okay. Uh, I could take it or leave it on Agony and Riot.
Riot. Mm-hmm.
Venom I like, and Dakota pointed this out. He has kind of that cool face that's turning from Eddie Brock into Venom, or vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is fun. I think that's cool to see them kind of not like doing a gimmick, but like it's like an effect of the toy, which I think
Mm-hmm.
Toy Biz, like with the old Spider-Man classics, Venom had that look. So that might be why I'm a little partial to it.
Yeah,
But
you always loved that toy. I never really liked those Spider-Man classics when we were kids, just because the articulation wasn't like the
yeah,
other Marvel Legends. But I know you always appreciated the sculpt and details that those had.
I did. Those were cool. So I'm probably more excited for that Venom. But that's one I've got from Amazon. Another one I got from Amazon is the new McFarlane Bane
Mm-hmm.
mega figure, which I remember when we interviewed him, one of my thoughts was to ask him about a more classic looking Bane, which, he probably would have just, you know, played it cool and then we
Yeah.
would have found out and been like, dang it. But um, this is one that I've kind of wanted for a while. I recently had the Bane Build-A-Figure from the DCUC,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool, but I think in comparison, this one just totally dwarfs it. It's
Yeah, it looks like it.
pretty.
Yeah.
He looks pretty substantial. I don't know how heavy, but I have to imagine if it's like Swamp Thing,
Yeah. I mean, have you
he's
seen
gonna
those
be.
pictures of Bane in the Harley Quinn package?
Yes,
So
yes.
maybe he's
Oh,
not as
should
substantial
we?
as we think.
Yes. So for everyone who's not aware, we saw in the toy groups recently someone taking the McFarlane Mega figures, which are what would you? It's about double, right? Twice as much as a
Yeah, they're
regular
usually about $40.
40 compared to 20,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy put it in the regular figure box to kind of highlight like his perspective was this
Mm-hmm.
is like kind of a gimmick to say it's worth twice as much because you could fit it in a regular box and it doesn't really weigh that much more. You'd pointed out like, well, you got to factor in the packaging because you can't
Right.
really just. I mean, you and I both know if you cram a big toy into a small box from shipping, something might happen to it. So you
Right.
do need, I think, the extra padding.
Yeah, and like
Um,
when he was putting him in there, he wasn't taking the plastic from the Bane box and putting it in there.
right.
So like, I mean, obviously that would be too big, but like even with like a regular size plastic packaging, I still think that Bane would be too big. But I do get his point where it seems like maybe it's not quite at the mega figure level. Maybe it should be like an in between, like a $30 figure. But even like $40, I'm still pretty happy with, because that's still
Yeah.
cheaper than
Well,
like getting a build a figure from Hasbro.
yeah, it's true, and it's probably going to be better quality.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, as far as like,
Like more
because
detail.
you and I have been
Yeah.
talking recently. Like, I recently found an Apocalypse for real cheap. He's missing a
Hmm.
hose, but
The Toy Biz one.
one,
Hmm.
and it's like that is an impressive scale. Like in
Yeah.
the detail, it does remind me more of something McFarlane would do. I know he's not going that direction, but
Hmm.
um, I don't know. It's like you wouldn't even dream of seeing that nowadays. So I think McFarlane
Hmm.
maybe is like I want to give you what I can't really do in a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like with the rate things have gone, like that's basically Bane is $10 more than I paid for the Retro Storm
Yeah,
VHS,
exactly.
which I thought honestly was a terrible toy. I'm trying to get rid of it if you're interested. But it was just like I paid $30 for this, so
Right. That's why I abandoned those
something.
VHSs. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I
circling back to
canceled.
pre-orders,
Yeah,
canceled all my VHS pre-orders.
I got rid of the. I had a Jean Grey on pre-order that I eliminated from
Yeah.
my
All right.
list.
So you've got Bane on pre-order, Jordan. What else do you have on pre-order?
Yeah, we got Bane. We talked about several of the symbiotes. A big one for me that I'm very excited for is the retro cell shaded Spider-Man. Now I think we talked about this because in our last episode, well, the one that you and I were chatting about that was coming up, which we now see it's totally out on Walmart. I know you were not as enthralled with it at first. Have you changed your feelings on that, or are you still kind of like?
I still feel like that Renew Your Vows 2-pack is going to be my Spider-Man. I do like the colors on it, but it's still like watching the in-hand review from Toy Shiz. It just like something seemed off about it. Where, like I said, you got to order it in person to make your decision because that Spider-Man's probably going to go nuts on the secondary market. But I'm still probably in the same boat. Like I'm happy to have ordered it, but my expectations for it are low.
I think it's going to be toy of the decade. But no. Yeah. I mean, I'm very excited to see how it fits with like my collection. You know, because you always wonder. You and I have talked about that whole the debate on too much cell shading, not enough cell shading, is it just in between? So we'll have to see what it looks like in person. But
yeah,
for now, I'm very excited for that. I saw some pictures of Lizard recently, and the more I see it, the more I love that kind of derpy, goofy first appearance head.
Same, yeah.
He just looks like he has no idea what's going on, which is
Exactly.
funny to me.
Yep.
So I'd love to have him just like Spider-Man's busting into his lab, and he's got these beakers. So
what's happening?
Yeah, I just want everyone to be a lizard. So I'm excited for that. And then you'd mentioned the Thor, which I saw actually in person. I was in Ireland on my honeymoon. This is the first time I saw it. I think I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
But he looked pretty impressive, and he felt pretty substantial. Like it felt
Nice.
like a hefty Thor figure. So
Cool.
I'm excited for that. And I'm trying to think, I guess to round out my Marvel stuff, another one on Pulse is the Beast, the new retro Beast that we got to see at San Diego Comic-Con. I think that one looks pretty cool too. I know it might have seemed like a minor thing, but I just didn't love the was it Apocalypse or was it
Caliban.
No, Caliban wave. I didn't like the screaming beast head. I liked what they gave us for this one. He's a little, and he's doing that thing on his teeth, kind of sticking out. I like that, kind of like that underbite.
Yeah, and I didn't realize until I saw them side by side in the review of the different colors. Like, I think this new beast looks more like he's just that like blue, where the other one had like super dark like elbows and head and just like really weird like dark wash all over it, which I think this other one, like this new one, is gonna look way better on your shelf with your X-Men.
I agree. Yeah, I think he looks cool. I like his kind of stoic. That's kind of Beast to me, you know. I remember in the show he'd always be quoting like philosophy and Shakespeare and stuff. So, I mean, you can put a screaming head on him if you want, but not my thing. So, I guess to round out my Hasbro pre-orders or Pulse pre-orders will be the No Way Home 3-pack.
Yeah.
That, of course, we've got Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland Spider-Man together. We've only seen the digital renders, so...
And that doesn't come out until next year,
next
July.
summer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, of course I ordered it. It
Hmm.
didn't sell out. It's still available, I think, isn't
Which
it?
I would hope so. There's no way it's in production, so I would think if they just get more orders, they could be able to say, hey, make another 100 because people still want it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't understand how it could sell out right now if they're not producing it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like they make it to order almost.
At least for now. And then once it gets closer, I'm sure they'll sell out. But yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that one
So
will be cool. So
excited for the Spidey pack. I got several NECAs, as I mentioned. So there is the NECA Invisible Man and
hmm.
Dracula are both coming. The classic Universal Monsters, which I'm very excited for because I've been rounding out my team there. And then there's a Frankenstein lab kit, which it comes with like a table that you put Frankenstein on, and it's almost like you know, I think it'll be good with my Halloween display because you got
Yeah.
the electrodes and all that stuff.
No, I totally agree. I just think it's
Do
so
I need
funny
to
that
pay
we get
35 bucks
excited.
for it? But I don't know. I'm going to, so whatever.
That's so fun that we can at least recognize how goofy it is that we spend $35 on
Yes.
a small table.
Yeah, I know. But it's like you could start doing. I like McFarlane doing the munitions thing, but you
Yeah.
could start doing like packs like that, just generic. I don't know, scenes and whatnot.
Hmm.
Save that for another episode. And then I've got the Defenders of the Earth, which is like the
Hmm.
80s cartoon that had the Phantom, Flash Gordon, and now I'm getting Mandrake, the Magician, who is one of the actually OG crime fighters in uh, superhero comic book history. So we can go into that when I get him. I'll do a little history lesson. He comes with the
Nice.
bad guy and his sidekick. And then, of course, I do have my Mezco The Batman on
Right.
pre-order. Now, I recently got my hands on a Mezco Batman, not this one, of course, and I was not really enthralled with it. So, you and I were talking about this, but I am torn between getting the Mezco or canceling that and getting the Mafex The Batman.
Do you have the Mafex one on
Um,
pre-order?
I don't think I do.
Oh, you got to get on that before it sells out, man.
You think it will? I mean, the
I don't know.
Mezco's still available. I don't know. I
Maybe.
mean, how many other people are gonna? I don't know. Maybe there's enough people crazy. It'll be my first like $100 toy purchase for
Yeah.
all the listeners. So um, that'd be a big plunge for me. But I love that movie, so I'm excited. And then we've got Galactus coming this fall,
Yeah.
and I think. Oh boy, I don't even want to calculate
Yeah.
all those numbers, but it'll be like Christmas for several months, I
That's
think.
true. Yeah. And I mean, the only so that's all of my Marvel pre-orders. I've got some Mythic Legions on pre-order
Mm-hmm.
from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not going to try to name their names because usually that's pretty challenging, but I've got like an ogre dude, a bat guy, a barbarian, let's see, green demon looking dude,
I think
blue.
those are all their official names.
Yeah, it should be. Blue dinosaur man, the red Krampus, and then that's it for those Mythic Legions. But then right now, currently, they're running the All Star 5 Plus. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to do an all in on that, just because there's some that I want, some that I don't, and then I'll just be able to use those others that I don't want for trades, and then be able to collect some of the ones that I missed out on. I've got
Mm-hmm.
two gargoyles on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store. So I've got the Brooklyn and the Hudson. I love the gargoyles show. With all the other pre-orders I've got, those ones are kind of on the chopping block of whether I'm going to keep collecting the gargoyles line. But then at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed off other gargoyles that are going to be coming out, and they look sweet. It's just those giant wings that are like, I can't really display them with those because when you
Mm-hmm.
see the space I have here, maybe until I buy a house, it's going to be hard to display all those. And then I've got the Mafex Spider-Man and the Mafex Scarlet Spider. I don't know. I put those on pre-order just because I thought that'd be cool to get those. I like that the Scarlet Spider has a wired hoodie. I think that'd be kind of fun to play around with. But for 100 and whatever it is, $110, is it really worth it? I could probably order a custom wired hoodie, but I just sold my Scarlet Spider just like last week, so I need one now. But I don't know. But that's where, like,
We'll see.
If you buy, like, I sold mine for $80, so it's like I almost covered the cost of a Mafex. We'll see. They don't come out until like the end of the year or
Did
early
you have
next
the
year.
retro or the Rhino one?
I had the Rhino.
Nice.
So, and that one I think I found it for maybe 30. I got that at the same time I got the Hellbat. I think I got that from Ant in the groups. So shout out to him. But yeah, it's a lofty pre-order list. I think out of all those, I'm most excited for Galactus. Kind of.
That's pretty fair.
It makes sense because he's a $400 figure coming in. We've got.
We better be excited for him at that price.
We've got one that we're sharing that Jordan thinks we're going to want to keep, and then I've got another on the way that I don't know. Maybe if we decide to keep the one Galactus, I can't let Jordan keep a Galactus and I not have one. But I'd also really like to sell one because, as you've seen, there's a lot of pre-orders to cover. So, yeah. And now we've got the new Ghost Rider HasLab coming.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk more about that in another episode. But
I say we have an episode speculating on that one because
that's lots of stuff coming down the pipe for sure. A lot of these pre-orders come out around the same time. I was telling Jordan, like, it's pretty much all between October and like February. So around that Christmas area, your wallet's really going to be taking a hit. So maybe buy those Christmas presents now so your accounts are full at the time these pre-orders are shipping out. So do some pre-planning. Maybe cut out some of those, sell some of your old toys, make some room on the shelves. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at The Strong Collectors. We're working on setting up some other interviews coming up. Until then, you've got Jordan and I to bring you all of the great toy content. And until next time, stay strong.